Joan, can you hear me? Is this better? Hearing me is no bargain. My wife tells me that all the time. So if my voice drops, just wave your hand at me and say, stop talking altogether. Okay, welcome to the first session of the Newmarket Town Meeting, the first deliberative session for February 2nd, 2019. Our first order of business, as always, is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, a few housekeeping things before we get the meeting underway in earnest. And again, if you haven't checked in, please do so. You all have hopefully a copy of the rules of the deliberative session. I'm not going to read them all, but just hit the highlights of a few of them that I found over the years are the most useful to remind people of. First and most importantly, this is your meeting, not my meeting. I'm just here to facilitate the discussion and keep things moving along. If I make a ruling on a motion or you want to change the procedures in some way, you can make a motion to change the rules and override any decision that I might make, and a two-thirds vote, not two-thirds vote, but a majority of the meeting can change any decision that I make, because again, it's your meeting and not mine. The warrant articles as presented will go on the ballot unless they are amended by you. So there's no special motion needed to move forward, to move a warrant article to the ballot. If you have a comment or a question or anything, please come to the microphone, state your name and address so we can confirm you're a town resident. Try to limit comments to 3 minutes, per person to make sure everyone has a chance to speak. Everyone who wants to speak will have an opportunity to do so once on a given item. Before anybody will be allowed to speak twice, although you are free to speak more than once to a given article if you care to do so. And with all that in mind, we're going to move forward. The first thing I'd like to propose is that we have a motion to allow the town administrator and any other town employee who is not a resident of the town to have permission to address the meeting as appropriate. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Mr. Pike, thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Will the person who seconded please identify themselves?
Zachary Dumont.
Zach Dumont, thank you. There's a new statute this year that people who move in second have to identify themselves, so that can be reflected in the minutes. Again, to confirm that it's town residents who are doing these things. So all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? The ayes have it, thank you. And similar to the way that we did the school meeting, I'm going to ask the town administrator to present the highlights of the budget and whatever else he wants to address us on at this time, so you folks can be armed with information before we start deliberating on the specific article. So Mr. Fournier, please.
Oh, okay. I have a PowerPoint presentation based on each of the articles, and it's basically bullet points for each. Article 2, the town is asking for the approval of $12,165,000 water system improvement in bonds and notes. The town, we grouped together the $12,165,000 of projects together. They are the McIntosh and Tucker Well treatment of those two systems, the development of the Tucker Well, improvements to our existing Bennett and Sewell wells, the replacement of vintage 1890s pipe on the South Main Street water main, the replacement of the Bay Road water main, the replacement of New Road water main, and the extension of the water main to Moody Point to address issues with their system out there. The Moody Point extension would actually be paid back through betterment assessments towards those who live in that area, so it would actually be paid off not through the ratepayers through our system. Rural Development suggested a group of projects to group them all together to take advantage of 40% grant funding that they can up to 40% grant funding that they can offer. So that's about $4 million that will be taking off that $12 million if it's approved. The town has already been awarded $4 million $560,000 in low-interest loan with 25% loan forgiveness for the McIntosh and Tucker Well Treatment Project and the new road water main replacement project. If the bond fails, the town will lose the loan and the loan forgiveness of $1.14 million. There is no impact on the tax rate since water rates pay for any improvements on their system. Water rate payers will see an increase of $24 annually or $2 a month. It was recommended by the town council 7-0, and it was recommended by the municipal budget committee 7-0. Next is the improvement, $2 million of improvements to McAllen Dam. In 2008, the town received a letter of deficiency for the McAllen Dam from DES. There were concerns that failure could potentially result in the loss of human life and substantial damage to downstream properties. Town studied first to remove the dam versus repair it. The conclusion that removal of the dam would not appreciably reduce flood risk, and overwhelmingly the support from the public and downtown property owners and abutters was to keep the dam. Potential unknowns associated with the cost of the removal of any identified contaminated sediments in the riverbed as well was concerned about removing the dam. So the town hired GZA to provide design to repair the dam. It'll be the construction of a new concrete outlet structure with a pneumatically operated gate system, the reconstruction of left and right abutment walls to correct structural deficiencies, slightly raising the height of the right embankment to increase the capacity of the impoundment, and construction of a new armored right upstream embankment. The cost estimate is $2 million. It would be a 20-year bond. The first year impact on the tax rate is 6 cents, so since we'll be only paying the interest in the first year. In the second year, it'll be 23 cents. That will go down after that, over the next 20 years. It was recommended by the town council 7-0 and recommended by the municipal budget committee 7-0. The next is the operating budget. I always start with our current tax rate and discuss what we're actually discussing at this point in time. As many people know, 66% of your tax rate is made up to the local schools, which is $19.23. The next portion is state schools is 8%, which is $2.46. However, all of that goes to the school. What we're discussing today is the 22% of the tax rate of the $6.39 for the town, and the remaining 4% goes to county services that we collect for them. And this is just a 5-year comparison of the tax rate. As you can see, the town has remained pretty flat right here. It was $6.22, $6.02, $6.24, $6.13, and $6.39 last year. So the town council and the municipal budget committee are recommending a budget of $12,194,371, or an increase of 0.44%. Where this is going is $7,836,346 to the general fund. The special revenue fund, which is made up of contribution to the library, solid waste, and recreation revolving, is $1,201,083, and the remaining $3,156,942 is going to water and sewer, and that's an enterprise fund which is paid for by ratepayers. The next is just a bar graph showing a comparison between fiscal year 19 and fiscal year 20 as proposed. The other part of that is we have to propose a default budget. The proposed budget, as I mentioned, is $12,194,371. The default budget is actually higher, of $12,420,846. The reason why the default budget is higher is to get the budget at a lower level. We took out a number of contributions to capital reserve funds. Those were not one-time expenditures. Those were constant. Those would go back in to the default budget for the following year. The reason why that we were taken out, our philosophy is we do capital contributions to capital reserve funds using money that we have left over from our fund balance, or what's known as surplus. That way, for those years that we don't have those monies, it doesn't have a larger impact on the tax rate until we rebuild it. So this would actually have a bigger impact on the tax rate because once I get to the revenue slide, I'll show you that fund balance, the contribution from fund balance actually dropped. And the next slide is an estimate only using data as we have today. So, with the council and the budget committee's proposed $12.2 million budget, we take out revenue, and as you can see, the revenue is down from $7,437,656 to $7,089,248. The reason for that is we've been budgeting very tightly. As many people know over the last few years, the budget has almost come in to actuals, which is good. I mean, that's what we're supposed to be doing. So we've had less money to put into fund balance. In the years past, our fund balance was growing because of discrepancies there. We just didn't have it this year, so we don't have the revenue to offset some of the expenditures on that point. So what you do is you take the $12.2 million, you subtract it to the $7 million. We add something called overlay, which is the cost of our abatements or anything else that we have to add. And then we add veterans credits, which is about $160,000. So the net appropriation is $5,285,123, or and then you take that divided by $762,122,692, which is the valuation of the town. Multiply that by 1,000, and the tax rate comes to $6.93, which is an increase over the previous year from $6.39. And that is my presentation.
Thank you. So Article 1 of the warrant is for the election of officers. That information is posted, and I also don't remember who's applied for what positions, so we're going to move just me. So there are write-in opportunities available for people who are considering helping out with elected position in the town. That's much appreciated. Article 2, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $12,165,000 and no cents for the purpose of completing 7 water distribution and treatment upgrade and extension projects: Bennett and Sewell Well facilities upgrade, water treatment for the McIntosh and Tucker wells, Tucker Well construction, South Main Street water main replacement, New Road water main replacement, Bay Road water main replacement, and water main extension to Moody Point. Such sum to be raised by the issuance of serial bonds or notes not to exceed $12,165,000 under and in compliance with the provisions of the Municipal Finance Act, which is New Hampshire RSA 33:1 et sec as amended, and to determine the town council, to authorize the town council to issue, negotiate, sell, and deliver such bonds or notes, and to determine the date, term of payment, maturity, and rate of interest thereon. Further, to take such other actions as may be necessary to effect the issuance, negotiation, sale, and delivery of such bonds or notes as shall be in the best interest of the town of Newmarket, New Hampshire. Additionally, to authorize the town council to apply for, receive, and expend federal and state grants, which may at any time become available in accordance with RSA 31:95B, and also to apply for, receive, and expend money from any other governmental unit or private source to be used for purposes which the town council may legally appropriate money, and to comply with all laws applicable to said project, and to authorize the town council to take any other action or to pass any other vote relative thereto. 2/3 vote required. If passed, there will be no impact on the tax rate. There will be an impact on the water rates. Recommended by the Municipal Budget Committee 7-0, recommended by the Town Council 7-0. So at this point, the floor is open for questions, discussions, this debate of any kind relative to Article 2. Seeing none, Article 2 will proceed to the ballot as presented. Article 3, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $2 million gross budget for the purpose of renovating and modernizing the McAllen Dam, such sum to be raised by the issuance of not more than $2 million of bonds or notes in accordance with the provisions of the Municipal Finance Act, New Hampshire RSA 33:1 et sec as amended, and to authorize the town council to issue, negotiate, sell, and deliver such bonds or notes, and to determine the date, term of payment, maturity, and rate of interest thereon. Further, to take such other actions as may be necessary to effect the issuance, negotiation, sale, and delivery of such bonds or notes as shall be in the best interest of the town of Newmarket, New Hampshire. Additionally, to authorize the town council to apply for, receive, and expend federal and state grants, which may at any time become available in accordance with RSA 31:95B, and also to apply for, receive, and expend money from any other governmental unit or private source to be used for purposes which the town council may legally appropriate money, and to comply with all laws applicable to said project, and further to raise and appropriate through general taxation the additional sum of up to $48,000 estimated to be the first year's interest on the bond or note payment, and to authorize the town council to take any other action or to pass any other vote relative thereto. 2/3 vote required. If passed, it is estimated this article will amount to 6 cents on the tax rate in the first year. Recommended by the Municipal Budget Committee 7-0, recommended by the Town Council 7-0. Article 3 is available for discussion, question, comment, motion. If you just step up to the microphone and state your name and address, we'd appreciate it. And good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Gary Swanson, 911 Wonderell Drive. Thank you all for your service. I appreciate it. I think we all appreciate the hours you spend doing this. I'm just wondering what the life expectancy of the improvements in the dam might be. Do we know that?
Yeah, I think we can get corroboration of this, but the gates, the major thing that would deteriorate, the changes to the abutment, changes to the structure should last, I think, many decades, and perhaps beyond. The gate structure that we're replacing, the current gates are at the end of their lifetime, and they lasted 70 or 80 years. These are different gates. I think the way I understood it is you don't have a firm prediction. They haven't even been used. They've been used a while, but the metal part, the part that moves up and down, that's expected to have a long lifetime if properly maintained, which it will be. The bladder would last less time, maybe 30, 40 years, but it still lasts a long time. So, and I've talked to our facilities director, and he said that really, in terms of the amount of maintenance even that the equipment will take, it's pretty minimal. It's an easy thing to maintain once it's put in.
And is that maintenance underneath the town budget then?
It will be,
Okay.
yeah, but it won't be a very big item.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Swanson. Any other comment, question, motion with respect to Article 3? Seeing none, Article 3 is going to proceed to the ballot as presented. And my voice doesn't get a break. Article 4, to see if the town will raise and appropriate as an operating budget, not including appropriations by special warrant articles, the amount set forth on the budget posted with the warrant or as amended by vote of the first session for the purposes set forth therein, totaling $12,194,371. Should this article be defeated, the default budget shall be $420,846, which is the same as last year, with certain adjustments required by previous action of the town or by law, or the town council may hold one special meeting to take up the issue of a revised operating budget only. If passed, it is estimated that passage of this article will amount to $6.93 of the tax rate, which is a 54-cent increase over the previous year. If the article is defeated, the default budget will amount to $7.04, which is a 65-cent increase over the previous year. Majority vote required, and recommended unanimously by the Budget Committee and the Town Council. Floor is open for discussion, questions, debate, motions with respect to Article 4. Good morning.
Good morning. Tim Dempsey, Tolson's Garrison Road. I think this may have been explained earlier, but I'd love to get it explained again. There's an increase in the tax rate of 8-ish% for a budget that is not increasing. Can
revenues. The budget, the expenditures are staying, but the revenue drop, have to make the difference up. That's it.
Which revenues? Because taxes obviously.
Well, it's really, we had more surplus in prior years to apply to the budget in the past. And because of changes in how, we've applied things to capital reserve, it's what the town administrator explained to before. But we used to, spend down the tax rate was the term, I think, back when Gary Levy was on the council, he would speak often of wanting to spend down the tax rate. But that surplus, we have budgeted tighter each year. We would look at actual amount spent the previous year, and if there were extra money budgeted, we would take that out of the budget. So we've been doing things to try to hold the tax rate down for some period of time, but that process can't last forever. At some point, you're very close to actual, and so our ability to spend down the tax rate in this year and future years is diminished. That's why we've been able to hold the tax rate down in past years, but it can't last forever. And it's also worth noting that we're trying to, I think, rationalize. One of the things we've been trying to do in our budget process is, at a time when construction costs are going up pretty fast, and when you're not getting a lot of, interest rates have gone up a little bit, but you're still not getting a lot of interest in your savings, capital reserve accounts. So if you're carrying a lot of money in those capital reserve, waiting to spend something you need to do, as the price goes up and you're not getting much interest on that's not a good. So we've tried to change the mix of what we do in terms of not carrying. If something should be in the municipal budget or the town budget instead of an annual operating expense, rather than bringing it out of capital reserve, we've tried to do that, make those kinds of changes, so we don't have so much money sitting in the capital reserve fund. I think it's all going to help us modernize the town, do the things we have to do, without, it's more logical, but the net effect is some of the math you're asking about.
Yes, Mr. Fournier.
Just for example, last year, we used $850,000 of surplus to offset capital projects. This year, we're using $250,000 from surplus. However, we're still contributing $524,400 to capital reserve funds, where last year we contributed $110,000 to capital reserve funds. So we have to make up that difference of $250,000.
Right, and part of what we did, and I think if I remember right, part of the projects that $800,000 went to is that oil prices were very low and there was a lot of deferred paving in the town. So we tried to catch up as much as we could on the paving when the oil prices were favorable, because the cost of the asphalt was way down.
Any further questions or comments? Any motions with respect to Article 4? Speak now. Seeing none, Article 4 will proceed to the warrant as presented. And at this point, with no further business to come before the meeting, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Elizabeth McKinney,
Second.
second.
Amy
Amy
Burns.
Burns. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Thank you. We'll see you at the polls.